What's up, guys and girls and my fellow boxing fans? It's been quite a while since I made a boxing video, obviously because of the whole year with COVID, so lots of fights have been postponed and cancelled and whatnot. But as we saw 2 weeks ago today, on the 31st of October, Halloween, Usyk and Chisora finally had their interim fight, obviously where Usyk was meant to have that originally earlier in the year. It was about March or April originally it was scheduled for. And this was going to be his fight that we had to have before he could actually go for his fight against AJ. So obviously, as we know about Usyk, he's the cruiserweight champion, and let's face it, he is a great boxer, and I've covered him in my other video, so there will be a link at the end of the video for that video where I speak about him in the 2020 year of heavyweight boxing legends. And obviously a lot of people had different views and opinions on this fight, myself included, for various reasons which I'm going to go into now. So as I was saying, very quickly on in this fight, Usyk was demonstrating what we expect to see him with his intelligence, his quick feet, and his general craft when it comes to dominating people, as he had done previously at cruiserweight level. With always leading Chisora to be walking around, trying to engage, get the body shots, but ultimately not really causing any real damage or pressure to Usyk. Usyk was, dancing around him, shall we say. It wasn't the most interesting fight, slightly boring, in my opinion. But obviously, he outboxed him. Chisora didn't really stand a chance, to be honest, because clearly it demonstrated technically that Usyk is the better boxer. And despite Chisora's overall size and more power and whatnot behind him, he just couldn't get those shots in, and he easily won the fight. To be honest, it was a clean win on points. Credit to Chisora, Derek Delboy, because obviously he lasted all 12 rounds, so he's definitely he definitely did well in terms of his fitness and stamina to last those 12 rounds. But he didn't really ever exert himself too much. There was a couple of explosive moments of power where he tried to really take Usyk down, but obviously it didn't happen. And ultimately, like I said before, Usyk graced the ring. He picked his punches, and it was really frustrating for Chisora, who worked really hard, but unfortunately just couldn't get what he wanted and couldn't land a nice clean hit. And obviously it's been mentioned many times, I imagine, by others, that Usyk, despite his great boxing, didn't really have the power when he did connect with Chisora to really hurt him. So that's obviously a perhaps issue going into the heavyweight realm for him, that if he's got enough power behind him or not to actually hurt people who are a lot bigger than him, and that begs the question, does he need to put more weight on? Does he need to work on more of his power and strength or not to really pack a punch, kind of like Wilder? Because I certainly didn't see that from him. His hits were good, they were accurate, but there was nothing really behind them. So and you can't really outbox someone like AJ on fitness, because he's very fit as well. So it will be interesting to see how that matchup goes, if it does actually happen after the Pulev fight. For Chisora, obviously his real opportunity was in the first 2-3 rounds, where he did manage to get a nice hit to Usyk, where he staggered the opening 30 seconds. But after that time, it was clear to see that his stamina and constant movement was what beat Derek. He wasn't gonna last against someone like that. So it's a real shame for Derek, but I think Usyk has definitely proven himself and reinstated himself as the next challenger for AJ once he's had his fight with Pulev. So not a bad fight overall. Good to see Usyk come into the heavyweight realm. Only his second fight heavyweight, by the way, and win it quite easily. To be honest, he was hardly had a scratch. As you saw, what was quite nice afterwards, the pair of them were enjoying some burgers together after the fight. So no hard feelings there. You would have seen that AJ was actually lying in wait and actually watching the entire fight, and as you just saw there, that was when Usyk was politely calling him out, and he said, you either fight me or you relinquish. It's as simple as that. He sent a clear message to AJ that he doesn't want to wait for the planned undisputed fight of Fury before he can receive that mandated shot at the WBO belt. As I said before, Usyk is Josh's mandatory challenger, but he does obviously have to take on Pulev on December the 12th, and which was originally planned for March this year, but again, because of COVID, it's been delayed, and it was delayed prior from a 2017 fight. So this fight has been on the cards for 3 years anyway. But AJ has said irate and I think Usyk's a great boxer, and I want to fight him. He hasn't denied that. So hopefully, once he's fought Pulev, which we'll see what happens, whether he wins or not, Usyk will be fighting him straight after that, and that's obviously going to be a great fight of these two. Because it's been, on the cards for years, so I'm really looking forward to that. Interested to see what you guys think on that one. Let me know in the comment section below about Pulev and AJ. Who do you think's got that one? And if AJ was to lose to Pulev, do you think he's still going to go for the mandatory fight with Usyk anyway, and then continue for Fury after that? Before the fight, Eddie Hearn told Sky Sports that if Joshua beats Pulev, he wants to fight Fury. He doesn't see any other fight getting in the way of that, but he has to respect the situation that Usyk has won and he is the mandatory challenger. But then if Joshua does win against Pulev, he's then going to apply to WBO and say, look, I'd like to fight Fury for the undisputed title. And what Eddie Hearn was saying, he doesn't want to give up those belts. He's worked really hard to get them. He's accumulated them. He's paid for the sanction fees. He doesn't want to just throw them away. He wants to be the undisputed. But then so does Usyk. He wants to be the undisputed champion of the world from cruiserweight and into heavyweight. So it's a real, a bit of a shit show, I'd say, to be honest. In my other video, which I'm going to link at the end, like I said before, there was lots of different fights meant to happen this year. They haven't, obviously, because of COVID, which is causing issues. Wilder's kicking off against Fury because Fury doesn't want to give him that trilogy fight, which they agreed to. That's obviously not happening at the moment. Might not happen at all. Same thing with Andy Ruiz and Wilder. Where's that? There's nothing about that in the press. But as it stands, we have had one fight. Usyk has fought and won against Chisora. AJ's fight's coming up. Fingers crossed it's not cancelled because of bloody COVID. And then from that, we will see what happens. I feel that he should fight, AJ should fight Usyk next, irregardless. And then after that, then he can go for the fight against Fury. But we shall see. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about the upcoming fights for AJ and what you predict will be next for Usyk and AJ in general. Do you think it's going to follow the path, like I said, AJ, Usyk after Pulev? Or do you think AJ is going to divert and ignore the fact he has to go for the mandatory with Usyk and fight Fury instead to settle the domestic rivalry there, and obviously try and get the unification there of the belts, and then perhaps Wilder. I've not even mentioned about Wilder and AJ. That's a whole other ball game again. But who knows what's going to happen there because of all the stuff that's going on between Fury and Wilder, because Wilder's got his heart set on taking on Fury again. You've seen all the gossip and the drama on social media between the two, and all the beef, and Wilder's not really made himself look very good. So, but anyway, congratulations to Usyk. Really, really impressed by him. He's a great athlete, great boxer, and really funny chap. Doesn't take himself too seriously. He's a bit of a mad one. Quite funny, really. Just how he is a bit crazy. But we need people like that in sport. You can't just have serious, boring people. And what's nice is that he can still be chilled with people after. He's got no ego. So, anyway, let's see what happens in a few weeks' time. So, I hope you liked the video today, guys. And if you did, as always, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you soon. Let me go fitness. Signing out.
Anthony, have a good day.